going to make a wine rack holder in AutoCAD and then later import it into Cabinet Vision. Go ahead and start the face. I'm using rectangle, which is REC type command, making it 16 5/16 wide by 28 1/4 tall. I'm going to change my layer filters to Cabinet Vision, which I made earlier. Use the 1/2 inch UV two-sided maple. Now using tool offset, 0.75 offset. Put a center line in here. Now I'm going to make the cutouts for the wine bottles. It's going to be 4 by 4. I'm going to rotate it, which is RO, to a 45. I'm going to use tool array, which is AR. I'm going to have 12 rows, 12 columns. These are going to be 4.75, 4.75, 45. They read 5 due to my units. My units are on architectural. I'm going to select the object. Say OK. Now I'll pick a tile out in the middle. Put a center line in there. Move my frame to that tile. Get rid of those lines and no longer need them. Now I'm going to use my trim extend tool. Type command is ET. I'm going to pick this inner line. And everything outside that line I want to trim, so I'm going to left click outside the here. And it's removed all the tiles to that point, removing the remainder. Now I'm going to trim all the connecting lines. We'll remove these extras. Now I'm going to turn the rest into polylines and join them together. Type in V. I'm going to put it on Southwest. I'm going to extrude it, which is EXT, to make it a 3D solid. I'm going to make it 15, 30 seconds thick. Now I'm going to gray it so I can see what I'm removing. I'm using the subtract command, which is type in SU. Click your outer frame, hit enter, then click everything that you want to remove. View again, type V, go on the top view. Now I'm going to transfer this to another template. I'm using Control-Shift-C, which is a control point for copy. Now I'm going to open a new template. CNC machine, Control V, and I'm going to type in 0, 0. And I'm going to set, first I'm going to purge everything else that's in this template. And then save as the DXF, 2007. Save it to my desktop. Call it 18-inch wine rack. And that's it for the AutoCAD. Now I'm using 3D Max to convert the DXF to a Polyface Mesh. So I'm going to go to Import. Importing the DXF. All my settings are correct. I'm going to highlight it. Right click. It's having a rendering because of making the screen capture. It'll catch up here in a minute. I'm converting this to an editable poly. Now that it's converted, I can save it or export it. I'm going to export it back out as DXF. And hit save. All my settings are good. I'm saving it back as a 2007 DXF. Now I'll reopen the DXF after 3ds Max to show you that it's now a polyface. I'm going to turn on properties. And you can see here it's now called a Polyface Mesh. I now have Cabinet Vision open, and I'm going to place a cabinet in here. We made it for an 18-inch cabinet, so pull in an 18. I'm going to remove the doors, the drawer, piece of the face frame, shelf. I'm going to take the bottom and make a top. Move it to its correct height. I'm going to turn off the face frame. Now I'm going to make a new part. Start out with panel. Change it to two-sided. These will be the dimensions for our wine rack. I'm going to use material thickness. It's going to be in the front. And all these are correct. I'm going to zoom in and place this in the corner here. I'm going to go to an end view and move it forward. Put it at 17. Now we're going to go ahead and edit it. I'm going to import the DXF as a part. It's the one we created earlier. I'm going to change this to panel. I'm going to go ahead and turn the face frame back on. Now we're going to add some route to these. We're on a front view. We're going to use polyline. We're going to be to the right. We're using a 1/4 inch bit. I'm going to get all these filled in. The double line represents the router path. Looking now to make sure we've got them all covered. Looks correct. Now we're going to go save this as a new part. I'm going to call it 18-inch wine rack. I'm going to save it in custom. Make sure your output to CNC is checked. I'm going to add a second one by copying this first one. Putting it at 5 1/8, so it's sitting on the deck. Same on this one. Look at it in a 3D. Looks good. Now I'm going to save it. I'm going to call it a wine rack. We'll put WR. Go into advance. I'm going to turn the height off so they don't stretch it in the height. Just call this wine cabinet or wine rack. I'm going to remove this one, pull in the one we just saved. I'm going to go to the machine. Go ahead and optimize it. Make sure we got all the routes. We have no errors, no warnings. That's good. Looks good. We'll go ahead and simulate. Just make sure it cuts all the holes, but it looks like it's gonna. The purple is indicating the cuts. Looks good. We can also output it right here. We can output the machine code, save it to the desktop. Now if I want to just import straight to the machine, I can do that. And we're ready to cut. That's it.